to the Velvet Room, my dear young viewers. Well, that is assuming that you're all young, but I'm not trying to assume that all of you are young. I'm just trying to make a creative opening, and I'm wearing blue, and I got this really funky chair, and just let me breathe a little bit, please. Anyways, guys, let's just kick all the other stuff aside. Hey everyone, it's Raven Azrael, and welcome back to the Raven Azrael Persona channel. How you guys doing? I know it's been a long time that I haven't filmed a video, and the reason behind that was I've been waiting for some Persona news, because myself and of course the rest of you, we had this assumption that Atlas was going to give us more things to look at, more information. But guess what? They didn't, which is really annoying, because I was expecting, come after May, Atlas, after the release of like Dancing All Night, because come on, what other stuff could you tell us about Dancing All Night besides showing us new characters that we already know about? So I was just thinking, okay, it makes more sense for them to, tell us more about Persona 5, a game that we don't have not much information about, only speculation, and they have insisted that it is coming out in 2015. So I'm just thinking, maybe we have more information, but we didn't. Which is... I have no words. Also, if this video comes up much later than what I told you guys to, it is probably because I am waiting for the right moment for me to upload this video, this analysis video, because if you guys don't know, Johnny Awesome, one of the amazing Persona analysts that we have in the fandom, he got a copyright strike when he uploaded his analysis on the leaked images that came out first. So I'm being a bit careful. I have to thank. I just want to say, if Johnny Awesome finds his way to this video, I want to say I'm really sorry about what happened. It is very unfortunate, and I must thank him for notifying everyone by video, because I would have uploaded my video and might have gone a copyright strike if it weren't for him informing everyone. So thank you so much. Thank you for the notification, and I'm just trying to be very careful because my YouTube channel is just starting out, and I don't want any problems now that it's just starting out. But anyways, let's get to the more important bits, and I mean the actual nitty-gritty deep analysis y'all know I'm gonna do. Yep, ain't no one safe in this deep analysis. I got my plan and paper right here, and we're gonna start this deep analysis right now. So welcome to the second promotional videos deep analysis by your one and only Raven Azrael. First, I want to start with cold hard facts, because there's no better way to start a game than with start an analysis with cold hard facts. So let us start. First, let us talk about the dungeon, okay? If you guys watched the video, if you were lucky enough to see the videos before they get taken down and then re-uploaded and then taken down again, let us talk about dungeons. If you guys saw this video, but I will be putting images as well. So in this image, you see that there is axes, and then we see the stealth thing again, which we have seen in the first promotional video. This is all very, very interesting, because we see Atlas evolving their dungeon crawling mechanics, enhancing the dungeon crawling experience. Because if you think about it, with these traps, it makes the gameplay much more active. I mean, how many times has the fandom felt like, oh my god, level grinding is so difficult. Oh my god, I need to go and kill all the shadows. Oh my god, it's gonna take forever. I'm just walking bunch floors and going upstairs. But now, you got swinging axes, jumping on lamps, you got stealth. There's so many amazing elements being implemented into the gameplay, and this is revolutionary for Atlas, because so far it has just been, oh, let us walk around floors, look at us, we're a lovely team. But now we've got actual active, we're acting like thieves, which blends into their story concept as well, which is well done, I must say. And I'm really, really excited for the dungeon crawling experience, because I, for one, when I played Persona 4 Golden, as much as it was a winning formula, I felt that the dungeon crawling can be very tedious, as everyone would agree that any dungeon crawling experience would be tedious. But I was so happy when I saw this, because I was just like, yeah, I get to avoid axes, which probably means I'm gonna die more in this dungeon, but that's okay, because ingenuity, new things, I like that, because they're trying to make Persona 5 a new being, and that is, let's be honest, what we all want. Alright, now let's talk about battles, because let's be honest, that's the one thing we're all interested in as well. We're interested in everything in Persona 5. You see, Atlas, this is why you shouldn't keep your fans in suspense. You see, with this drought of information, all of us are just like, everyone's just losing interest. It's a bit annoying, and this is not helping them. I'm just gonna say, constructive criticism, keeping your fans in suspense with no information does not help in the least. Okay, continuing on. We do see a return of the normal battling system that we do, but that's very Persona. So that should be expected. But what I really wanted to pick out, I mean, you guys can see the battle style yourself, so I'm not gonna dwell on that. What I want to dwell on is this nitty-gritty things that we really need to be interested in. First off, I want to talk about that heart sign that you will see in this image, that light bluish green heart sign, which depletes when Arsene, well, when the protagonist uses Arsene to attack the shadow. And also in this video, we see the protagonist ripping off a mask. Now, you guys are probably wondering at this point, what on earth are you on, Raven? What have you been smoking? I haven't been smoking anything, sweetheart. I just want to make a reference to when the protagonist said, I will steal your hearts. I think the ripping up, you know how in Persona lore, we tend to make a lot of associations between hearts, souls, and the Persona mask. So what if, let's just say, speculation, right? Arsene, and our main character, has the ability to rip off masks of shadows and maybe personas. And the green heart is the means, is like the health bar in which you're able to do that. So that'd be like another way of ending a battle quicker. Anyone else really hyped up about this? This is great news, guys. Honestly, this is amazing. I mean, if this is true, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is. I mean, it might not even be linked to the ripping out of masks, okay? But but here we see another game mechanic, another bar that symbolizes something that we don't know yet, and that's really interesting. And look, the light is shining on me because I am the bearer of great news. It's just lighting. I'm so sorry if this lighting is pretty shite, but honestly, this is great news on our part, and it shows Atlas evolving its game mechanics. It shows that there's a lot more things happening in Persona 5. And God, but if it is linked to the whole ripping off shadow masks, then it brings great clarity and great support to the idea of shadow possession that would be linked into the story. And I'll talk more about that later when I talk about the story. But just think about the possibilities with the opacity of the heart. If you guys have any ideas what the heart could symbolize besides being like a means of another battle mean, please do let me know in the comments down below, because other than that, I can't seem to draw up any other conclusions. So just let me know, alright? Right, guys. Now we get to my favorite part of every video. You know, the one where I keep talking for hours about. You know, we are going to talk about the storyline of Persona 5. Granted, we did not get much substantial information, but we do have more data to work with and more data to come up with more speculations. First off, I just want to talk about the main character for now. Can we just adore his dual nature? Like, let's just take a second to just think about how amazing his dual nature is. I mean, think about it. Look, it's so interesting because we see a new breed of protagonist, alright? For ages beyond counting, since Persona 1, you know, we've had the silent protagonist. And yeah, sure, they had their own quirks of personality put into them, but I've never felt so... I don't know, it's like with Persona, you could still implant yourself into them. Even though they have their own quirks of personality, you still were able, like, Makoto Yuki has his own personality. He's more quiet, reserved, calm, and that was what Atlas was going for. But you could implant like a jokey part of yourself onto him effortlessly anyway. But this is the first time I've seen a actual dual nature protagonist, because we see him being this docile, calm, reserved student, unassuming student, but at night a thief. And not just any thief, guys. Look at this image, okay? That's a smirk, okay? This guy is such an asshole. I'm not sure even if he's an asshole or just really cocky, or just really proud. But damn, son, I'm really liking this character. I have barely heard anything of this guy, okay? We haven't heard him speak about himself, no revelations of his past or anything, but here I am, already hooked to his character, and look at me, I'm turning white. No, but seriously, I've never ever... I'm so hyped to play this guy, because I just want to know more about him, and I really want to tap into that dual nature thing, which I think is definitely amazing. Oh my god, like, wow. And speaking of the thief thing, this is very interesting, because we have to start thinking to ourselves, what thief? What kind of thief? Because obviously he's not robbing banks. Let's be clear. But we do see casinos and like victory things, places of desire, which is why I am thinking, and it kind of looks very otherworldly. You guys can let me know down in the comments if you also agree that this looks very otherworldly. If you guys do agree that it is otherworldly, can we just assume that it might be the new realm in which shadows live in? Perhaps a place that entices you, a place of desire where shadows can possess you. I know I'm going a bit too Dragon Age on this, but it does seem like a viable option. Like, imagine this is like, so that's what the protagonist steals. Like, he goes into this other world, getting his kicks out of stealing desirable items from this shadow world that provides things of desire. And as we all know, individuality, the theme of the game, is often forgotten because people are chasing material wealth or chasing some goal. For example, a teenager might lose their individuality because they wish to be accepted by society. An adult will forget their individuality in chasing wealth and fame and fortune, and it makes sense. And that is why I'm thinking the main character as a thief is actually finding his kicks and his desire and spraying his individuality by robbing away what this world represents. I'm not sure how this is going to work to the main theme and the main thrust of the story, but I like to think that there is some connection. Also, can I just say that our scene is amazing? And I saw this amazing joke on Tumblr, which was like, it's so nice to see Miles Edgeworth getting some work again. And oh my god, it's beautiful. I reblogged it onto my Tumblr. And if you guys want more things from me, besides waiting for me to upload videos, you can also follow my Tumblr. All the links on my social media will be down below. Look at me self-promoting as I go through this trailer. I'm amazing. This is what we call multitasking, by the way. Also, I would like to talk about the chains our scene is holding. As we all know, a persona is the reflection of oneself. So, if our scene is in chains, does that mean he's enslaved, that he is being held captive? And we all know that personas are in the sea of the soul, and you can only get your main persona by signing a contract with the Velvet Room. This is going to be so interesting, honestly. Let's check this out. Alright guys, let's start talking about the team members. I know all of you have those of you who have watched the trailer already, you will already know that there's like no new team members being shown, which is what the Persona fandom is a little bit iffy about, because we're just thinking, so is this our team? Is this it? Is that all? I don't think this is it. I think Atlas is just playing, let us try and find out how long we can withstand this information and release it later, which I think personally is a terrible idea, because you're going to lose interest from your main fandom and from your main audience, because have you seen the lack of activity from the Persona fandom with this new leak? I mean, when the first trailer came out, everyone was like, oh my god, Persona 5, and then now I'm struggling to find many posts about it on Tumblr, or on Facebook for that matter, or Twitter, or anywhere, and it's kind of, I'm not sure if it's because Atlas has been repressing information, but, you know, just general hype comments. I'm very surprised at the lack of it, and I'm actually really disappointed, because we're, like, they did send us some new information, but I would like a little bit more. Atlas should aim to give continual amounts of information regularly to keep the hype. Because the more you build the hype, you build momentum, and there's a higher likelihood of new players seeing this hype and being, holy shit, I need to check this out. You know what I mean? Anyways, I've drifted on to another topic. Let's try this. Trying this again. Alright, team members of Persona 5. We have not seen any new team members. I think they definitely will be, because if we remember the cafe, it looks to... There's so many places where other team members could sit. So I definitely think there should be more team members, but even if there isn't, that makes this a very personal game then, because you have, but then this comes the question, you see, now that I'm saying all these, then only these ideas come into my head. I planned everything, but now that I'm talking about it and listening to myself, there's more ideas that's coming out, so sorry for it being really unstructured, but there has to be more team members, because social link systems, and then that raises another question. Are there going to be any social link systems? Because based on what I've seen, I have not seen any social link systems. Well, at least for now. But then again, they might show us later, and maybe the social link systems you do build help you break out of the Velvet Room jail a bit at a time. I think, maybe, perhaps, I'm not sure. You know, there's not much information for this to go on, but I don't know, man. Like, but I'm pretty sure the social link system is definitely coming back, because it's a lot of the Persona heart comes from its social links. How they're going to execute it, and whether it's going to be the same sort of social link system we've all been used to, that remains to be seen. You know, we'll have to wait and see if this is what actually happens. Alright, moving swiftly on, we're gonna have to talk about the motivations of this team. As we all know, in the trailer, it says, will they find glory? And look, I'm white again. Will they find glory or ruin? And that's really interesting, because the usage of the word glory suggests that for these I'm not even sure they're Persona users. Well, I'll talk about that later, but, you know, just based on this, I think this highly follows through the idea that these guys have found another world, another realm, where they can get their kicks out of robbing things. Robbing materials of desire from the Shadow Realm, or just messing up with the shadows. And then only later on do they realize the gravity of the situation. That's what I think it is thus far, because not much information is being given out. I mean, it would make a lot of sense if that was the case, because only when our Phantom Thief is stopped and when he's almost captured and he meets Igor in the Velvet Room does he realize the gravity of the situation. Perhaps, as I've said in my previous videos, he has done something wrong and that he has wronged the Velvet Room. And I'll talk about that more when I talk about the Velvet Room. But, you know, there's so many things. But I definitely think the main thrust of this party, and why this party is initially formed, is to either find excitement or to fix this giant mistake that might have occurred. Speaking of team members, we have to talk about Ryuji. I mean, that guy is probably the Yosuke of this game. He's probably the bro of this game. He certainly seems that way anyway. He has all the major qualities. Cheerful, bright-haired, excited, speech pattern is definitely like a bro, but you know, nothing wrong with that. Always love a bro character. But what I really want to talk about in terms of his character is the fact that he has a shadow self, and we see that shadow self very clearly. So this certainly suggests that there is a persona awakening for the other team members. They've only shown Ryuji, but I like to think that the other character, I forgot her name, also has a persona, but it's just unveiled because Atlas doesn't want to give us any information, which is very interesting. But now I have to pose the question: is it awakening or possession? Because as we see our main character's awakening, it certainly seems more like bound, more restricted, rather than, and more primal than what we're used to. And I'm so excited for that, honestly. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think it's more primal, or do you think it's just going to be the classic awakening, facing your true self? Or will this be another theme given off by a character? We don't know who he is, what's his name, but for the sake of this video, I'm calling him Paintbrush Dude. So we see Paintbrush Dude riding the whole, will they go to glory or will they go to ruin? Dark walls, blood-ish sort of writing everywhere, menacing look, that weird hairstyle, and his weird clothing style. Man needs some help in that department, but you know. This guy is very, very, very interesting, and I think he's very, very key, or else he wouldn't have appeared. I don't think he's a party member. I think he is either one of the villains, or like sort of like a Strega, a side villain, not like a main villain, kind of like Strega, or like that politician in Persona 4. You know, a side thing to deal with, but I'm also quite curious to see whether he's an intermediate character, sort of like Ikutsuki or Pharos. And it'll be very, very interesting. Maybe he's some sort of like, some sort of guide, an intermediate, kind of like a Pharos character. It'd be very interesting to see his role in future videos, but that's all I have for you so far. But let me know, what do you think Paintbrush Dude is? Let me know in the comments down below. I am leaning more towards an intermediate character who sort of like predicts the misfortune that might befall on our new team in England, because like, the sun is never on your side, lighting is never on your side, and I live in an apartment, so lighting is definitely not on my side. But anyways, I'm gonna close this up really, really quick with the Velvet Room. Now, we all know from in the first promotional video that the Velvet Room for the protagonist is shaped like a jail, with those two assistants who kind of look like mini devil wardens. Didn't help in this one either, because now we are certain that it is a prison cell, that our protagonist is sitting in the prison cell, looking confused, and then we see Igor with this typical Igor smirk on his face, writing, and he looks like, I don't know, the very ambiance of the Velvet Room this time is so much more sinister and so much more restricting and controlling to the Velvet Room that we're used to. Because the Velvet Room that I was used to, well, at least how I interpret it, was a place of complete weightlessness, where you were who you are, and there's just a purity in your spirit, in your personality. But now it looks so different. And also, we see this wording in the trailer, steal back your future, which is why I'm more convinced that in my previous analysis that the protagonist has done a wrong to the Velvet Room and his future has been stolen away from him, and that he has to, and that he's coerced, forced into making this contract with Igor. Because honey, look at this scene. I mean, if you haven't seen the trailer, go and watch it, try to find a video, and if I can find a proper video, I'll link it in down below. But you know, it just, Igor looks so menacing, and the whole idea of him signing the contract for our scene looks so forced, and which is why I am more convinced that he has done something wrong. Something has gone wrong in one of his stealing, in one of his robberies, and he's lost his future and he has to steal it back. This gives it a more personal feel to you and the character, I think, and is an excellent technique to use. But I also think there's going to be a greater issue, and I'm sure it is going to be linked to the shadow possession, which is not why I'm going to talk about really, really quickly. If you see these images, we see these humanoid guys. They might be shadows first off anyway, But what if they were actual people trapped in this shadow realm, and they get possessed and transform into shadows? And it makes sense, because it's as if the shadows have removed their individuality, and that's all they are now. Now that they've given up who they truly are, who they are deep inside, their individuality, they just become these mindless monsters. And that is what our protagonist will have to fight against. Seems like a viable theory. You guys let me know what you think down in the comments below. And maybe I'll make a part 2 in this analysis if I come up with any more ideas. That's you at this moment. I'm gonna be a bit more careful of when I upload this, so I can't guarantee when the date this would be up. I'm just waiting for the coast to be clear. But once it does, this video will be up. I might make a part 2 analysis, because there's so many things I'm still questioning. This is just all fresh out of my head. I'm gonna go and sit down and see if I can come up and scoop up any more details from the video, and I'll let you know when there's going to be a part 2 to this analysis. But anyways, I must thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. It greatly motivates me. Leave a comment down below, because I love hearing your ideas. Let me know what you think down below, and do request what you want me to do. And you can send those requests through my Twitter, my Tumblr, my Facebook page, and just let me know what kind of Persona themed video you would like me to do. Another question I would like to pose to you guys: if you guys have seen my Tumblr, you would know that I've become Dragon Age crazy, and this is where I want to pose this question to you. Would you like me to post some of my other video game experiences on this channel? If you do, let me know in the comments down below, or through any of my social media, and maybe I might add in some more other video game contents that I've just becoming more interested in, or becoming more excited about. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please do subscribe, and I must thank my 26 subscribers. You guys are amazing, and I love you all 26 of you. And you know, I'm really happy that you guys exist, because you give me motivation to keep doing these videos. Also, before I go, I just want to say constructive criticism for Atlas. You know, if they ever see this video, if they ever bother, they need to continue the hype train, and they need to give information regularly, because seeing the fandom being this quiet over revolutionary trailers being released. If it was images, I can understand the quiet, like I can understand the silence, because it's images, so you're not sure if it's real. But videos, actual trailers, this is worrying, and Atlas should be worried, and their marketing team needs to start thinking, how are we going to get the hype back up? How are we going to keep our audience? And you know, they just need to upload information regularly, keep the hype train going, like what Pokemon did for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Even if it's tiny little bits of information, it helps keep momentum and helps keep interest. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this again. I'm going on and on. I'll see you guys in the next video.